What's up, Dominators? Rico Garcia here. And today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, but not really. What if I told you that improving your golf game could grow your business? Like, that's a novelty, right? I mean, typically we're always talking about, how to market a little bit better, how to get in front of more people, how to provide a better service, right? Or how to get better training or how to be a better technician. But rarely do we think about the importance of networking and mingling. And most of the time when we think about networking, when we think about mingling, we're thinking about, networking events or, after party events at, industry style events, right? Things of that nature. But we don't really think about golf as this way for us to grow our restoration business. And that's until I spoke to Peter Lyons, and that's our next guest. And Peter Lyons is the founder of Restoration Golf League. And at first, I got to be honest with you, I couldn't wrap my head around it. Look, I get it. Golf is one of these things, these sports that you can go ahead and you're going to be spending a lot of time with people, and obviously you get to build some really strong friendships and some good business relationships, right? But for some reason, it just never really clicked, restoration and golf. And even when Peter and I first started, having conversations about this, I was like, I quite don't get it, right? And then all of a sudden, the more that we would talk about it, I saw the potential and I saw the amazing network of individuals that were being drawn into the industry just by being part of what Peter Lyons has got going on. So without further ado, here is Peter Lyons. This is going to be a really fun interview. We get to talk about his story, how he came up with this concept, how it's grown so much. And there's also going to be an amazing opportunity for maybe you that's listening or watching the show, for you to go ahead and establish your own chapter in your local community and to be that individual that can pull all of these other pros into the restoration net, if you will. And ultimately, your network really does represent your net worth. If you have the ability to make connections with other pros and you can be that hub of connections, that's always been, in my opinion, one of the things that can go ahead and catapult you to success and really get you to that next level. And the approach that Peter Lyons has taken is, in my opinion, something that the industry needed. And I think that we're going to see a tremendous amount more chatter about the Restoration Golf League. So enjoy the show. Here we go. Boom.
Welcome to the Restoration Domination Podcast, where you learn actionable advice that moves the needle and helps service-based businesses dominate. Here's your host, Rico Garcia Jr.
All right. What is going on, my Dominators? Welcome back to another episode. Peter, welcome to the show. Are you ready to help us dominate?
Absolutely. Let's talk golf.
Let's do it. So people are probably listening to this and be like, what? Golf? We're talking about restoration. How the hell am I going to grow my business? What does golf have to do with anything? And we're going to get into all of that, right? But before we do, for those that may not be familiar with the name, they're not familiar with who you are, fill in some of the gaps on the intro. Let us know who you are and what you're doing for the industry.
Okay. Got into the industry back in, I want to say 2005, asbestos abatement, Southern California. Did that for about 7 years. Had an invite to go work for an environmental consulting firm. Couldn't turn down. It was a friend of mine. Offer was too good. Worked there for a few years. And then about 6 years ago, started our own firm called True Eco Environmental Consulting. That has now transitioned into Rescon Environmental, covering all of Southern California, Northern California, just doing environmental consulting. That's my real quick background into how I am involved in the restoration world. During COVID, why we're here is we're going to talk golf. We're going to talk about RGL, Restoration Golf League. And they're both that people, when you hear RGL, we know what that's synonymous with. That's the Restoration Golf League. It was an idea that, jumped out in COVID, couldn't do anything but golf. So what came about was the Restoration Golf League. And since then, it was an idea for my own company to keep people present and relative And then it just kind of spawned into something that has now stretched, from the West Coast to the East Coast, we're, to the Midwest. We have, chapters going on across the country, and that's what we're here to talk about and answer questions on how this works, how it can benefit your business, and how it can grow just the industry as a whole.
Right. So we were talking quite a bit off camera, and we're talking about the importance of networking, the importance of not necessarily being competitive, although there is always a nice things that happen when there's this friendly competitiveness that goes on, but really talking about collaboration, right? Like, how can we collaborate more as an industry? And there's a lot of ways that the industry has tried to do that. Some of it through events and through education. Others, like to go to networking meetings, right? Or to mixers and things of that nature. But they all seem kind of shallow to some degree, right? Because number one, you're not there for very long. Number two, everything is very superficial. Right. And one of the things that really stuck out to me about what your concept is, how you're bringing everybody who's related to the industry together in what I feel is almost a more meaningful way, because you have time invested and you've got all of these other great things that happen over a game of golf. So, kind of talk to us about that and, how you've seen that affecting how people are doing business together within the industry.
Yeah, and that's you hit the nail on the head with regards to the events that are going on. I hear it all the time. It really wasn't that good. I didn't get that much FaceTime with people. It was the quality of contacts weren't there. And then it's like they're not getting any cheaper. So you exhibit at some of these events, and it's, some of these national ones, you're talking for a 10 by 10 booth, $5,000.
Right.
It's like, what are you getting for this? And so we're hearing all of this, but the beautiful thing about golf is if you like to golf, you understand this. It's like you're trying to work on your game of golf, and then you're building relationships within the industry that we all serve. Okay. So, that's how the concept came about was, how do I get meaningful connections? How do I grow those connections? Because again, you do need time. Well, what better thing is to be on the golf course for 4.5 hours with these individuals to build that relationship, competitor, vendor, outside, service provider, whatever it may be. You're building those relationships, and you're taking it out of, the networking group restaurant where you stand up. Oh, I have a referral for the lawn care guy. I have a referral for, the house cleaner. And you're like, but I'm in water mitigation. I'm in environmental consulting. How did this have anything to do with us? Right. Okay. There's a need for, or there's a place for some of that stuff. But so how do we get this? Okay. How do we make this happen? Now, the goal of the golf league is that you're meeting every 4, 6, 8 weeks on the golf course. Okay. With a group of individuals that have the same mindset, that they want to just grow that, they want to, like to golf. They want to work on their game of golf, and then they want to network within our industry. Okay. Again, very simple concept. Now, you can leave it at that and only build those relationships on those 7 times a year. But okay, let's say I get paired up with 3 new golfers this week, and I'm doing it 8 times a year. Well, that's 24 new connections or existing connections that you just strengthen throughout the year. Now, what I employ everybody as a member, what are you doing between the next 6 to 8 weeks with those 3 people you met? Let's go to lunch. Maybe you bring a client, I bring a client, or whatever. Let's just have lunch. Let's go golf again. Let's do something else in between point A and point B. Okay. And again, what is the goal of that is build a network, stronger network, a new network that now is growing within our industry. But the fact is that it's meaningful time. This is the key, is that, or you have to make it what it's worth. These industry events, you go to the bar, you see 5 minutes. Okay. You're there for 5 minutes. You're meeting and mingling. Now, what you do with that after, that's again, up to you as a marketing, sales owner, whatever it is. What are you doing with those contacts? Now, we are kind of helping that every 6-7 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever the schedule permits for the local area. We're putting everybody together. If you're as we're helping put the people together, you just really have to show up and be active and contribute to
Right.
the group.
So just kind of put this in perspective, right? Because people may be, again, at the first time that you hear this, it may not make a whole lot of sense. So you have a very interesting story because you kind of came up with this by necessity to some degree due to COVID, right? So kind of walk us through the brainchild, right? Like what happened.
Okay.
And then more importantly, just so that everybody can connect the dots, what that actually did to your business, which again, most people saw a reduction in business. And let us know like kind of what happened with you just by using this kind of a system.
Right. So we all know what happened come 2020, COVID hits. We then all shut down. So being in LA County, it was we were one of the most stringent counties in the country. It was, restaurants shut down, everything curfew, you name it. We were impacted. So we happened to be at a golf tournament in Sacramento or north of Sacramento, and it was wide open. It was just probably October-ish of 2020. And we're coming back from this golf tournament. One of my sales reps was like, all right, well, I think I'm going to do this golf league. And I'm like, okay, well, we're staring down everybody. It's like 3 sales reps. What are you doing? You're sitting in my office. Nothing's really going on. It was, do we lay people off because we don't know when this is going to end? Or do we think outside the box? And how do we get our guys in front of the clients that we need to get them in front of still to generate business? Well, golf was it. It literally was boom, okay, let's do this. Then we thought about it on a small scale. It was going to be only 15, 20 people. Let's keep it for us. Then it was like, all right, the idea started going. It was like, okay, how do I make this? I want this to be a thing. We want this to be bigger than us. Well, then that's how the name came about, Restoration Golf League. Okay, 3 sales reps, 3 leagues. We broke them up in Southern California, Inland Empire, LA, Orange County. Each one of my sales reps was responsible for being like the league manager for each one of those leagues. We launched it. We had a kickoff tournament, shotgun start, T-box sponsors, and everybody was kind of like, oh my God, I love this concept. I love this idea. Then we launched our membership. One league was at, I want to say 54 members. Another one, the one in LA County had a little struggle just because of being LA County with the COVID restrictions. So I think they were at like 24 members. Inland Empire was like 36 members. Okay. So we started having our league events. Well, what ended up happening was we had guys coming in from Northern California to come play in Southern California. We had guys coming in from San Diego to come play. And then they're like, well, can we just have one of these leagues in our geographic territories? I'm like, sure, why not? You guys got the golf courses, you got the interest. So those chapters popped up, Northern California and Southern and San Diego. Then I had an individual, Dave Foreman. He works for a national Serve Pro franchise in Chicago. We're on LinkedIn, we're posting, and he hits us up and says, hey, I have a group of guys that get together already in the industry. Would you guys mind us using your platform? I'm like, okay, sure. If he's like, I don't want to deal with payments. I don't want to deal with any of this. I don't want to communicate with the courses. I just want to be the guy that gets the guys together and we golf. You guys handle everything else. So then that's kind of how Chicago jumped onto the map. He had already had the group of guys, and then that hit the map. So, and these are that's how it kind of, then Phoenix popped up, and then, things just started like snowballing on people seeing it, loving the concept, and then asking, how do we get one of these in our local markets? So it was, but that's kind of how it started. How it impacted our business in COVID, One, I didn't have to lay off anybody. We actually we hired throughout COVID because we had work that was coming in the door. We ended up growing by 25% as a business during we're still technically in COVID, but that shutdown period, we grew by 25%.
Right. Which is amazing because most businesses were closing down.
And the only thing we changed, right? That's one thing that I hold pride on is that we didn't let go of anybody. Like during COVID and in one of the most impacted, like stringent areas, we didn't let go of one person. Again, we implemented training program. Like we have guys that were trainees in our world because we were growing. And nobody knew we still don't know what the end looks like. So we still have to kind of continue to think outside the box. But people are, well, how do you know? Well, I know I grew by 25% because the numbers are what they are. But then they're like, well, how do you associate it? Well, because that contractor, Icon, I wasn't getting work from before. This contractor, I wasn't getting work for. That adjuster, I wasn't getting work from. Or I'm getting work from that property management company now because of this guy that we met at the golf league. So it's very simple to take it from the numbers and then break it down into those relationships on how, but also there's other things too. Like we spoke off camera, just the information, forget about work. What other business stuff are we getting out of this? Knowledge of how to run your business, how to, from other business owners, different things, that we are getting from it that maybe don't have a direct impact from a job coming in, but you tweaked your system a little and now you're more profitable.
Right. And that's definitely something that I want to take a deeper dive into, because I think that's the natural evolution of rubbing shoulders with, other business owners, other entrepreneurs, is how that affects your business and ultimately its profitability. But before we dive into that aspect, let's just take a quick moment and thank our sponsors. Hey, Dominators, real quick, let me ask you a question. How would you like to increase productivity? How would you like faster claims resolution? And more importantly, how would you like to reduce litigation? Well, this is exactly what Impartial allows you to do. Impartial creates timely, accurate estimates for faster and fair claim settlement. Building upon Matterport's technology, the Impartial Scope tool extracts the relevant data embedded with pre-mitigation and post-mitigation scans and subsequently renders an exactimate or assemblability estimate that can be approved by a carrier without any hesitation. The magic here is that the software helps contractors generate mitigation and repair estimates for more rapid approval from insurance carriers while removing the burdensome administrative process. Each Impartial estimate is produced with objective accuracy using immersive 3D imagery and precise physical and geospatial measurements. Impartial, in my opinion, is one of those tools that simply can go ahead and change your business. And with so many features such as Impartial tags, timestamp matter tags, the ability to upload JPEG, PNG, ESX, and so much more. Impartial is that software that could genuinely change your business. Make sure that you check them out in the video description below or in the show notes and see for yourself. Hey, Dominators, real quick, let me ask you a question. Have policyholders struggled to come up with your money because it's held with the mortgage company? Or does the percentage of uncollected debt that you collected in 2021 exceed over 2.5%? Or even better, let me ask you this. Do you dread negotiating with your policyholder when it comes time to collect your final payment and deductible? So look, if you answered yes to any of these questions, then you need to check out Surety. You see, Surety is a third-party fund control company. And what they do is they ensure that you get paid faster and, more importantly, completely for the hard work that your crews are doing. Surety relieves not only the policyholder, but you of tremendous administrative burden while ensuring that the claims process and, more importantly, the proceeds flow via ACH to the rightful owner. you, the restorer. And here's the best part. For less than the average credit card fee, Surety delivers on numerous fronts. So here's what I want you to do. If you want to learn more about how Surety can help you, I want you to head on over to www.surety.com/dominate and request a free demo today. Now listen, Restoration Domination listeners just like you are going to receive a really cool offer, and here it is. You're going to receive an exclusive offer which includes free processing for the first insurance claims check and 3 months of free access within their network. Again, that's Surety, SURETI.com/dominate. All right. When we're back. So we kind of left it off talking about, some of the secondary effects, if you will, right, of kind of being outside of a meeting type setting, right, like a, networking event or, a mixer or something along those lines. And yeah, so we kind of have one of the best case studies because it was during COVID. It's during this time where everybody was shut down, especially like in your neck of the woods, like everything was shut down. Like, here in Florida, we don't even know what COVID was. When you really look at it, it's like, we were wearing like ski masks and that was about it. But, but California, that was like a whole different animal. And you were still able to see a 25% growth in your business, right? So that's huge. So we have a living case study, and I'm sure that there's tons more that you've already got some case studies on, but let's just talk about that one for right now. But then the secondary benefit to this is what happens to you as an entrepreneur when you're forcing yourself or putting yourself in a position to be around other players, to be around other entrepreneurs, and the exchange of ideas that naturally happen. Because what ends up happening, and I think we could all relate to this as business owners, what ends up happening is that we put our nose down to the grindstone so hard, so frequently, that we don't take a moment to really pop our head up for air and look around and see what other people are doing, what other people's ideas and how they're affecting their business, because we've got the blinders on. We want to be successful. But we could be missing out on a lot of cues, a lot of easier, faster, less stressful ways of doing things. So talk to us a little bit about what that experience looks like and some of the benefits that you've personally seen, whether personally or, through other members of the Restoration Golf League.
Right. And then that's the beauty of that is, again, you got a captive audience. I mean, I want to say you're both there, or the 3 or 4 of you are in the foursome together with the same goal in mind: networking, growing relationships. So hopefully you've broken down those barriers of you're there to communicate, you're there to talk to people, you're there to share your struggles, your wins, your highs, you're talking about your life, your kids, everything. You are getting to know these people. So what it does is it kind of it one, that camaraderie, you're building it. But then you're open to share ideas. One of the things, to me, I have so many ideas that go through my head on a daily basis. It's absolutely crazy. So I like to share ideas with people. So it opens up where people start sharing their ideas. And then I'm like, okay, if you want my 2 cents, 5 cents, 10 cents, let's walk through this with you. Let's see how this goes. Okay. It's amazing. I mean, I think we shared off camera about company setups. Like, well, one company being on a fiscal year, one being on a calendar year. Okay, well, that kind of spawned different ideas. Well, a lot of us could have, or leasing companies where you have all your equipment under one company, and you're for obviously tax purposes and benefits and all of these things. Well, as owners, people ask me, how do you know this? I said, because I listen to what people are saying. And then I kind of registered and go, okay, that's a great idea. Let me go talk to my consultant. Let me go talk to my accountant. Let me go talk to so-and-so. Or, hey, do you mind, Rico, give me the guy's number that you're talking about. Do you mind if I go pick his brain? Now, one, I've increased my network on that side of it as well. Now I'm getting people outside of golf to help build my business and help strengthen that foundation for myself. So we're seeing that. I had, this is on another note, I had 2 owners. One's an environmental remediation company that used to do mitigation plumbing and all this. He's like, I want out of construction. I want out of all this. I'm only going to focus on the environmental. But he's been doing it for 25 plus years. He's been a consultant to Mercury Insurance, doing Xactimate, all different things. I paired him up with a construction guy, and they now have met up on doing Xactimate training because the contractor's having so many problems with different things. And this other owner was like, well, I can help you out here. I've been doing this. I've trained in training. I can give you that help. Well, now they're meeting up outside of it as two owners of businesses. Well, one obviously construction remediation. They go hand in hand. They can work together on a business level, but now we're elevating the owners in the group by meeting those. They're playing together, and now they've grown that. So there's a lot of stuff like that happens, in regards to the golf league, because you're there you're 4.5 hours in. I mean, I think I said, if you cannot glean one useful piece of information in 4.5 hours, the problem is you.
Right.
Like you have not. One, you're not investing in the golf league for what it's. You're not investing in golf. Like, again, that's the whole thing about golf is, even if you go to the golf course and get paired up, you're a single. You get paired up with 3 guys. If you're not getting to know the other 3 guys that happen to be random strangers, why not just play by yourself? Like, that's, that you don't just say, hey, I want to go out as a single. I don't want to get to know the guys that I'm golfing with. You're missing the point of that 4.5 hours.
Exactly.
It just blows my mind that actually happens. But so
let me ask you this.
We're seeing stuff like that.
I know there's a couple of people that are going to be listening to this. Like, hey, this is like really cool. I'd love to but I don't really play golf. Like what about them?
So that's it. Go buy a set of clubs.
That's like the best response, right?
No, And I only say this because we have literally every level of golfer in the golf league. We have we literally had people go buy golf clubs to come play in the golf league. 2 or 3 guys right now are actually trying to become PGA pros. Like, we have guys that go, they're shooting 150 to guys that are shooting 68. I mean, we have such the range of skill level, but there's a guy from one of the restoration companies. His name is Raul. I love seeing him. And it's funny because I'm on all his social media. He's playing 3 times a week, bought his set of clubs to come play in the golf league. And I see him all the time. And I'm like, gee, you actually give me inspiration. I love that. And I share it to him. And he's like, it brings a smile to his face because he's like, all right, I like what I'm doing. He's competitive. He's trying to work on his game. But I always talk about him because he's embraced it, and now he's making this as part of his marketing strategy. We have a lot of, and this is again a pride thing, and we have a lot of ladies and women that have joined that they don't feel that competitive. Like, it is, golf is 100% competitive. We will not take away the competitive part of it, but they feel comfortable enough that they, the restoration world is, predominantly male. I mean, that's just, for the most part. We have a lot of women joining the leagues across the country as well. And we're trying to make it look, it's for all skill levels. Come on out and play. Now, the next side is, can I be involved as a social member of absolutely. I mean, we have different ways you can do. I keep telling you, I need pictures at these golf events. We can't do anything social media wise without pictures. Well, what better thing to be is, I'll be the picture person. Come out, do pictures before, watch people mingle, go out on the course, take pictures of the players coming in, take pictures of the after marketing when we're just hanging out, having a beer, getting some food. You can make it what you want. We obviously need. We always say each league should have a non-golfer, because someone needs to. The bigger the groups, like our SoCal one, our registration because it's not a scramble tournament. This is what other people have to kind of wrap their head around. This is not your industry insurance association golf tournament. It's not your IFMA golf tournament. It's not BOMA, where you have T-box sponsors on every hole. It's 140 for golfer shotgun start. That banquet, that's not this. Typically speaking, it's a block of tee times. So if we have 36 golfers, we have 9 tee times. And so we will span from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock as guys are, as foursomes are going out. Okay. So you're playing your own golf ball. You keep your own score. We have cash prizes, closest to the pin, long drive. We have all these things to make it, fun, but you're playing your own ball. You're working on your own game and your score. It's golf and networking. That's not, I'm going to be here for 8 hours. There's going to be guys, flipping golf carts. Not to say we don't have fun. We have a lot of fun, but it's not that. So one non-golfer or two that help with the getting people. First question people ask, hey, where's the driving range? Hey, where's the bathrooms? Where's the bar? Where's this? Where's that? Okay, what time's my tee time? All of that, and that person or people, group of people would be that person, that group that helps run the chapter. Because us as golfers, I want to get out and golf. I don't want to be sitting around, I have a tee time, first tee time or last tee time. Well, there's still a table that's set up, the easy up, all these things are there. Well, the chapters do need non-golfers. But I would say you probably at some point, if you're at the golf course, pick up a set of clubs, because we are non,
and never the rentals. Never the rentals.
It's we traveled to one tournament last year, and I'll never do this again and not travel without my golf clubs, because this set of clubs was like the Charlie Brown set, or the Bad News Bears set of freaking golf clubs. It was just like the leftovers, and I'm like, does this even have a putter? Oh, it's a left-handed putter. Well, I'm not left-handed. Like, what is this?
Right. So another thing that I wanted to go ahead and highlight too is that this is for also a great opportunity for anybody who's remotely related to the restoration industry, right? Whether you are the public adjuster or, a general contractor. I mean, wherever it is that you fall into and how you service people in the industry, like there's probably a good opportunity for you to go ahead and look at, possibly either joining a chapter or starting a chapter, which that would kind of lead us to the tail end of what we want to talk about here, which is, where do people find more information about maybe joining an existing chapter, or if there's not a chapter in their local area and they totally see the value in what it is that you're doing, how do they get involved?
Right. So website, www.restorationgolfleague.com, that has the information regarding where we're at, chapters, ones that are up and coming, looking at, a couple across the country, like Denver, Texas. There's several there, several in the Florida market that will be up and coming, that have people have expressed interest. LinkedIn, we have a chapter page for each one of our chapters. For the local ones, we have the Restoration Golf League main page that will have everything on what the golf league is. Anybody that's interested in starting one, either message me through Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, or through the website, that we're interested in finding, getting more information on starting a chapter. It takes 2 to 3 people within a local market to get something started. Obviously, it takes golf courses. The bigger the metropolitan area, the more golf courses there are, the easier it is. Again, it's all about draw. The ideal league is probably between 36 and 54 members. Now that sounds like, oh my God, how are we going to get? I'm saying like down the road. We started one. I was in Northern California, and we had 12 people. We played with 12 people. To me, that's 11 more contacts that I had than last year. I mean, make the most of it. I mean, it's not necessarily about the quantity. It makes mixing up the groups easier and making more contacts, but it doesn't have to be 100
Right.
members. It doesn't. It just has to be enough that you guys are going to make the most of that group.
Right. And it's about digging deeper
now-
and not necessarily wider, right? Sometimes those smaller groups are actually more beneficial to all parties involved because, again, you get to really get a feel for everybody and really get to know everybody, which is useful.
Right. Right. Exactly. Because you want to build, we want guests to come, but the goal is that membership base is strong. Like you are doing things with your member base. And then you're building it on the golf event there. What you do outside of that, then that's where where you're spreading your wings and meeting new people through those individuals. That's the ultimate goal, is what are you doing after the golf event with these people you're meeting as members of the league. But yeah, so online, like I said, we have a huge presence on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook and Instagram, but from an informational standpoint, website and our main LinkedIn page, which again is Restoration Golf League. We're posting information all of the time on those. But just to touch on your point, Will, that you made on who this is for. Okay, this is for anybody and everybody that anywhere remotely touches the industry. Like you said, general contractors, your cabinetry people, your drywallers, your electricians, plumbers, all of your trades that help put back a house, number one, or all of us that directly do stuff that are water mitigation, mold remediation, environmental consulting, public adjusters, independent adjusters, building consultants, all of those individuals, to even your auxiliary guys that do payroll services, insurance brokers, bankers, business bankers, your fleet managers, anybody and everybody that one likes to golf and wants to build their professional network. Those are the two things. And again, if you're tied to, somewhat tied to the insurance restoration industry, those are really then you go, well, man, then you should have no problem getting 36 golfers.
Yeah, exactly.
If you take it from here to here to here to here, it's a broad base. But as a business owner, and this we can end on this, is I don't get out as much as I would like to and network. Okay. I always have great ideas I set out with aspirations on Monday. Okay, I'm going to hit this, and this. I'm going to go see some of my best clients, and it come Friday and you go, man, I had one lunch. Okay. But I know that on October 15th in San Diego, it's on my calendar to go play golf with the Restoration Golf League. And I'm going to meet and mingle with 40 people in our industry. I don't miss it. I don't miss this is the one thing I don't miss personally. Granted, yes, we run the league, but I know I can get there early, mingle with people. I can stay there after. And that day, 40 people within our industry will be there. Okay. That's the beauty of this. It's calendared out. I love to golf and I love to network. Okay. Well, take those two. And these are like non-negotiables for me. We make these events, and because I know the numbers are there. So that's kind of where it's, as an owner, where's the biggest bang for the buck? Okay. From a marketing strategy or standpoint is I'm not paying for a foursome. I'm not paying for a tee box. I'm paying my membership dues and my green fee. So now, and the league is taking care of pairing me up with 3 people. Okay. Don't have to worry about last minute cancellations. Don't have to worry about this. And then I pay my own green fee and I'm getting paired up with people in the industry. Okay. So those are the things that why I take personal pride in going, it's not pride. I put that much importance on it because of that. Like, I know, one, I'm actually saving money on my golf outings because I'm not paying for the foursome. I'm paying for myself. And I know I'm going to see 40 people or whatever the number is, 12 people, 36 people, depending on and I'm going to see them every 4, 6, 8 weeks, depending on the league schedule, on how the territories break it up.
That's awesome. So again, on that note, Peter, man, thank you so much for taking the time to kind of let us know about what's going on and, how this can in fact be super beneficial to not only a lot of entrepreneurs' mental health, right? Because it gives them a real legitimate excuse to get out there and take some time for themselves, which is extremely important, but also how this can expand their business and their overall business knowledge. And again, for all those restoration dominators out there, in the video description below, as well as in the show notes, I'm going to leave links to all of Peter's contact information, as well as links to learn more about joining the league and participating. This is also a great opportunity, in my opinion, because again, there's not, this isn't coast to coast in every single state and every single town. This is for those dominators out there, a really powerful opportunity for you to be the first individual in a lot of areas to set up a chapter and to be that go-to person that is kind of spearheading your general area. And that could present a huge opportunity for you. Again, only if you're looking to dominate. And on that note, make sure that you go ahead and check out the information. As always, hustle, hack, dominate. We'll catch you guys on the next one.
You've been listening to Restoration Domination, your #1 resource for tips, tricks, and hacks to help your business grow. Subscribe to our channel and follow us for more Restoration Domination. And follow our host at Rico Garcia Jr. on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. Till next time, this is Restoration Domination. Hustle, hack, dominate.